Hey everyone, welcome back. Another episode of Life with Your Dog podcast. Panos here with another Q&A for the week. So Erica has DM'd me through Instagram and she's got a question about her cane corso. I'm going to read through it on my computer here and then we're going to go through a few points that I think we can discuss and hopefully it helps her out. And anyone else who has any issues that are aligned with the same problem here. Just like with all of these Q&As, I can't give like a definite, this is what you have to do and this is what you should do. These are all just giving you some pointers and tips because it could be a fact that a lack of communication through messaging, and also even if I saw it on a video, I have to see the dog. There's so much to all of these things, but we're just gonna do my best and then give you an answer to some of the questions. So Erica wrote, just stumbled upon your podcast and I love your practical advice. Thank you. Been helping already with our cane corso mix. We realized we've been slacking with continuing our training after getting professional training. So thanks for getting us back on track. Would love an episode on tamping down on protective nature of big breed dogs. It seems to be at the core of most of our dogs' issues. Thanks. And I asked her, give me a little bit more of a description so I can kind of answer the question a little bit more properly. So she says, so is a cane corso mixed with Marama, protector mix with working dog. We get him we give him plenty of exercise daily and we're working really hard on impulse control, but the protector in his blood seems to override what we're trying to do. Looking out the window and barking at everyone that passes by. When he's outside off the leash, he grumbles or barks at people walking by. Most of the time, if he gets up and to bark at them, we divert his attention, but not always. We also call him the fun police because whenever the kids are in our house or the cat is playing, he goes on high alert and has to go over and investigate. He's very unsure around children and doesn't really seem to know what to make of their tiny bodies and loud noises. So he tends to get very anxious and lets out high-pitched yelps around kids. He takes his job as a protector very seriously, but obviously it's on overdrive, and he needs to know he doesn't need to be. Sorry, I'm reading this wrong because it's not enough. Because I don't think I see a full stop there. So let me go again. He takes his protector very seriously. Obviously, he's in overdrive, and he needs to know he doesn't need to put up with everyone's business or worry about people walking by all the time. He knows his place, but we're still mastering him staying there for a long period of time. Any help or tips appreciated. So look, a lot of this stuff can get a little bit tricky when it comes to working with big, strong dogs. I didn't actually get how old he is, and that could kind of help as well, but I did see a photo and he looked mature, so he wasn't puppy. Number one thing is, as always, good management. So if you don't want him barking out the window all the time, maybe try to find a way that he can't see out the window. I know it's a real sucky answer, but if he's at home and he's constantly barking at every single movement that happens out there, then first of all, it's going to keep on reinforcing that behavior, and then it's going to be hard to try to stop it, since every time he barks and that person disappears, he then feels fulfilled. He feels that his barking kept those people away. So that's true. He is protecting off his territory. The cane corso was bred for, the working dog in regards to having that protection of his owners and of his pack. So that is very true. And the Marama was the dog that hung out with the sheep so it can kill wolves every time it come on the property to try to eat their sheep. So, you got a wolf killer and you got a guarding dog. So yeah, you do have a protective dog, and it is in his genetics for him to be protective. However, something I want to mention is, we keep saying he's very protector. He's a protector. It's in his blood. So it's almost like there's an element to your approach to him is that, well, that's what he has to do, or that's what he does. And I don't think you're excusing it, but I think it's becoming like the excuse for him. Maybe. And again, I could be wrong, so no offense intended or anything like that. But just be aware of, instead of honoring his protectiveness, try to honor who he actually is and what you actually want. And that may be that when he's inside the house, when you're hanging out inside of the house, look, if he's outside in the yard and he's in the front yard and people walk past and he's barking, no, I don't actually know if I could get him to stop doing that. And you may not even want him to stop doing that if he's outside. You may like it, you may enjoy it. Some people really do enjoy that. If he's inside of your house and he's and he's doing these behaviors, you can set up a different scenario inside your house compared to being outside of your house. I hope that makes sense. It's not too confusing. So if he's inside of the house and he's barking at everything that goes past, I'm going to come up with a few different things in my little list here, and hopefully it answers that. Also, when it comes to him being around kids and he's not sure, again, I don't know too much of what's happening here. I don't know, are we talking about your kids? Are we talking about your friends' kids that come over, or family and things like that? And it says here, like, most of the time he gets up and barks without his attention. The fumble is because whenever a kid is at our house or our cat is playing, he gets on high alert and has to go over and investigate. So I don't know what he's doing. He's very unsure around children and doesn't seem to know what to make of their tiny bodies and loud noises. So he gets anxious. I'm happy that he said he gets anxious and lets out high-pitched yelps around kids. So, like, I don't think he's being protective there. I think he's just being a bit sooky. He's being a little bit anxious and he's not sure what to do. And because of his insecurity, he thinks that he has to control that situation. So I think throughout what we're going to go through today, we're going to address some of those things as well. So if he's doing that things around kids, by the way, I'd be super duper watching him and making sure that things don't go pear-shaped, because it just takes one bad experience for everything to go bad. So first thing I've got on my list here is good leash handling. So if you're out and about, first of all, have a good, decent leash. If you're going to have him on a collar, have him on a martingale collar, check chain. You may even need to have him on a pinch collar. Whatever your trainer that you've worked with helps you out with, or if you have him on a haltie. I'm not a big fan of halties, but if you've got good corrective control over your dog, then that's really important. Keep that collar up high so he doesn't lunge and try to bite somebody or jump up on top of people. Collar always has to be up under the jaw and behind the neck, so you have good control over his head. If you can control your dog's head, you can control his body. So talking about effective leash handling is that you don't want anything to go bad. Number one, you don't want him to have success with biting. Number two is that you want to be able to control him so you can correct the behavior that if you don't like it, or redirect it and try to get him to do what you want him to do without less conflict and without getting frustrated with him and things like that. Have a good leash, like a good quality leash, so it doesn't break on you. Because again, we're talking about a big dog here and he's lunging at people or he's reacting to people, so you want that good control. And check out on Nooch's Pooch's YouTube channel, or you can even go on noochespooches.com, and in the video gallery there we talk about leash locking, how to have the leash that goes over the thumb so you have it locked in. You don't want to be holding it like wrapped around your hand, or you don't want to be just holding it just standard, just holding it in your hand, because you don't want it to slip out of your hand. So if you can lock it in there and have good control over that leash, then when you're out and about, or when you're inside the house and you have him on the lead, or when there's kids around, you've got good control. Don't reinforce undesirable behavior. Make sure that if there's behavior, like for example, let's use being around the kids, is friend comes over with their kid, they start playing. What I want you to do is not just let him be free roaming inside of the house. If he's free roaming and he constantly runs up to the kids and tries to assert himself or to investigate and then to stop the fun from happening, I think that's just him showing that, hey, I'm unsure of what's happening here, and he's trying to control it. The bad thing there is that if the kid doesn't respond to appropriately to the situation, or